In today's video, we have a very special guest. He's a young man from the Esan land who was born and raised in the United States of America. And now he's learned the Esan language and he's able to speak it very, very well. Our special guest today is here with us. He's a young man that grew up in the United States of America and is from Esan land. So in this video, in this special video today, the first is going to be in two parts. The first part, myself and this young man, we're going to have a conversation in English, so he can just tell us a little bit about himself and how he came to learn the Esan language. The second part of this video, he's going to, with myself and himself, are going to have a little bit of conversation in Esan language. Right, now, I'm going to ask you to tell us your name, please.
My name is Anthony Osekweme Otaigbe.
Obokia, and you are welcome.
Uh-huh.
All right, good, because the people on this channel have learned Obokia already, so that's a good way of listening to the few bits of the Esan language that we have learned on this channel. So, right, tell us a little bit about the meaning of your names, especially the Esan name and your surname.
Right. So my middle name, Osekweme, that's derived from two words in the Esan language. The Ose is a shortened version of Osenubla, which is God. And then the other half, Kweme, is used to show or give thanks, gratefulness. And so my name basically means to giving thanks to God. That's my middle name. And then my last name, Otaigbe, Ota, means like communication, words, speaking. Otaigbe means basically talking doesn't hurt. It's good to communicate. It's always good to speak your mind.
So I wanted to know the young man behind that app of the Izesan app. So then I decided to make contact with you. So I understand you were born in the United States. Just tell us a little bit when you started taking this speaking of Esan language very seriously. How old were you? And did you really speak Esan when you were younger? And when did you, if you did or you didn't, when did you start taking the Esan language really seriously?
Yeah, so my upbringing was confusing, I think, just like a lot of Nigerians that are born in diaspora. We are outside our perception. People see us as Black people, those that aren't really aware of our roots. And then the Black people see us as Africans. And then Africans see us as basically white people or non-Africans. And so I was growing up in the midst of that confusing kind of upbringing, but also within my own family, my family members all spoke Esan. My sisters spent a couple of years, about 2 or 3 years within Esan land, and that was where they picked up the Esan language when they were young. And I remember there was often times where they would all just be speaking Esan, and I would just be sitting there like a stranger. Like I just didn't know what was going on, what they were speaking. They would talk about me in front of me and I couldn't defend myself. You know, it's like any other situation if you're at work and you know people are talking about you, but you can't say anything. So when I got a little older, I started to try and understand my identity as a young Black man, a young Black person. I wanted to understand my name. I wanted to understand, you know, where I'm come from, because my parents would always tell me to tell people that, you know, I'm Nigerian. If they ask you if you're Nigerian, you know, what if they ask me what state I'm in? They'll say, okay, tell them Edo State. And then, you know, what they ask me, where in Edo State? Then they say, okay, say Esan West. And then what they ask you, you know, where in Esan West? And so they would keep telling me to say these things, but it didn't really feel genuine because I didn't really have a real knowledge base of Nigerian culture, Esan culture at all. So if someone said, oh, okay, so how do you say water in Esan or something? I don't know. And so that bothered me a lot because I just felt like lost. I felt like I didn't know who I was. And so I decided to start speaking. No, I didn't start speaking. I decided to say, okay, look, I need to figure my life out. And so this was around the time where I started to listen to Fela, Anikulapo Kuti, and his music, which was very uplifting about, you know, African identity and knowing who you are and being proud of it above everything else, you know, not putting stock in other cultures more than your own. At that time, I was also learning like Spanish and Chinese, and I was like, man, why do I know more Spanish than my own language? Like, is that okay? Like, I would just be like, is that really okay for me to know more Chinese than Esan? Like, I was like, I don't know if that's okay. And so I finally I went to my uncle. I was like, man, I really want to learn how to speak Esan. All of you guys, whenever you guys are having family gatherings, everyone's speaking, and I'm always an odd one out. How do I just, you know, how do I learn this language that's so obscure? You'll go into the Howard University or whatever, you can go learn Yoruba and Igbo online. It's very easy. It's accessible. But Esan, I mean, no, it was very, there's a dearth of knowledge and teaching about Esan. So I told him, I was like, how do I learn? He was like, just speak it. That was it. He just said, just speak it. I was like, what? Just speak it. I don't know any Esan. How can I speak it if I don't know any Esan? How can I speak Esan if I don't know Esan? He's like, Ukizo, just speak it. I was like, all right. And so I just started, I got my phone, you know, and I would start talking to people and, okay, you know, how do I say this? And then they would tell me and I would quickly put it down in my notes in my app and I would just be recording it. And, you know, after some time, it was like one word a day. I would, you know, one word a day, I would grow on that, use one word. Of course, there was some put downs, you know, from the community because, you know, they like to correct, you know, oh, you got a tie, you know, that's not how to say it. That's not how you should say it. that means that, you know, you didn't say it properly, you know, things like that. Or, you know, they will laugh when you talk. Oh, okay, yeah, we'll try. You really tried, you know, things like that. But I just took it as a challenge. I was like, all right, you guys, okay. You know, you got me, but tomorrow you're not gonna, that same word, I'm gonna know that word tomorrow. And then the cycle just continued like that. And I started to learn how to greet. That was probably the first one, small talk, because some people are really big on small talk, you know, so that was the first one I mastered. And then after that, they came to kind of respect me a little bit, like, oh, okay, he knows how to greet, because greetings, you know, so important. So once they saw that I was able to greet, they kind of praised me more, and then that encouraged me more. And then it started to slowly expand out of greetings. This is a very, very shortened version of my experience, because I started learning when I was like, probably like 18. So it's been like almost 7 years now about. So I've just like tried to explain it in like under like 5 minutes, but like it was a journey.
Yes, you all can see how excited I am to have this, my young nephew. I actually feel like his auntie already, you know, so on this platform today. So as you can see, Anthony Otaigbe has already developed an app where you can also learn the Esan language. And I feel it's really important for us to work together, because this language is so exciting that we should learn to collaborate and work together. Anything that can give all of us opportunity to learn it quicker. And even myself, I'm even learning some stuff from him. He can actually write Esan better than I can do. So I'm really honest here, guys. So I just want to ask Anthony, how did you move from the point of just learning one word a day to where you are today and to the point of actually having an app, Izesan?
Starting out with the Esan, learning Esan, as my uncle had advised me, he said to just speak it. But that it's not that easy because one of the things about Esan language is it's tonal, and if you are a native English speaker, using tone, the nuances in Esan language and using tone, it doesn't come naturally, and so you've really got to get the hang of being able to understand how the word sounds and how it should be used. And so I had very limited, in the beginning stages, I had very limited opportunities to really speak the Esan. I had more opportunities to write in Esan. And so that's what I focused on, because I felt like as long as I trained my mind to start being able to like get used to Esan grammar and syntax, when I speak, it's not going to be as like I'm a computer buffering trying to speak, and it's just not fluid. And so I felt like focusing on the writing for me helped me to get my mind to kind of get that beaten path, so that once I speak the Esan, I can get the grammar, the syntax, how it should be spoken, and help me think faster. And so it's still something I do today. I always write in Esan to the people that, that I know can understand and read it. If it bothers them, don't hit me up. Don't talk to me. That's just what I do. If I know you can read it, if I know you can understand it, then I use it. But if I know you can't read it, something I don't bother. But yeah,
wow.
I guess it evolved. Another thing was like greetings. I had to. That was the part I really focused on. Was okay. Whenever I see an uncle or an auntie, I want to be able to greet them properly, and so I really solidify that aspect first. And then gradually, once they understood, okay, he knows how to greet. Okay, let me see if he knows this. And so they might throw another word, that I might not have heard before. So then now they're sort of teaching me in a way. Sometimes I can tell they're just trying to like get one over on me. Oh, they hit that one. Okay, I know that they're trying to just like show, oh yeah, they speak Esan. But I used it as I would jot it in my notes on my phone and be like, next time you're not gonna get me. So it was like a game almost. That's how I had to look at it. Like, you got me that time, but next time that's not gonna happen. Making sure that I never ever ask the same question twice. They should never tell me something and then in the future again I ask, oh, what does that mean again? Because now, like, the first time, okay, I never heard it before, but the second time I could have recorded it on my phone or something and I could have learned it. So I really focused on that, because it really is embarrassing, like when someone's speaking to you, and you can't understand and they have to, so I tried to minimize that as much as possible by always recording when I speak to someone. I always just say, okay, what is that? Okay, and I write it down on my phone. And then, so that's how it culminated into me. The writing aspect helped me with the grammar and spelling. And that was what empowered me to be able to make the app. Because at one point, I still have basically like a dictionary of words on my phone in my notes app. Probably over 500 Esan words, probably up to almost 1,000 of just what I've collected over my entire journey of just learning Esan. All the different types of slang and like words and like different types of expressions, proverbs. I just collected them there. And so once I found the dictionaries that Otaigbe wrote, and Okoje, all of those people that authored Esan dictionaries, it was like I was in an island, and I was in a candy shop, and I was like, wow, look at all these words. And so at that point, I would go and sit with my dad or my mom and be like, okay, so I see this word here, Okpodu. Okpodu. I didn't pronounce it right. I'm pronouncing it not right now, but I probably say Okpodu. What is Okpodu? My dad would be like, huh? What? Maybe you're not pronouncing. I'm like, Dad, it's right here. Okpodu. Okay, yeah. Yeah. No, I know that one. I just kept at it. I was resilient. Just as long as I felt like I was better at speaking Esan today than yesterday, I knew I was somewhere.
Right. Anthony, It's really nice to hear how you now work so hard to now learn to speak the language. I'm so proud of you. I can't say it enough.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you.
so the part we are now, really, I want you to tell us how you now got from just learning, speaking, and confident enough to actually now develop a very, very good app called Izesan.
Yes. The culmination, I guess the best way to describe that application is like a dissertation. At least that's how my dad describes it, as a dissertation on my learning of Esan. I mean, but that, I think that's the best way to describe it, because it's the culmination of at least 5 years of learning the language, the grammar, learning the tone, learning the nuances, learning how something can be said the same way, like the same word can be said 3 different ways, and that changes, all these different types of meanings. And my goal was, okay, this language is a little different, especially for native English speakers. Like, this is nothing like I've ever seen before. So I think I need to make it more accessible, so that, because in my opinion, I should never have to work this hard to learn my language. It was like some type of mission. Like, I was a soldier, and I had to just, I don't think everyone has that in them. And I don't think it's right to have to work that hard either. It should be more accessible. In my ideal world, every Esan person would know how to speak Esan. They don't have to speak it, but if they were to ever go to Esan land or whatever and talk like me, and someone tried to cheat them or something, they'd be like, "Ha, online, man, hip boy tie." So I understand what you're saying. I think, I see that with other cultures, and, Spanish people usually know how to speak Spanish and all these different things. And I was like, I wish in my culture, we would all just know how to speak our language in addition to English, and be able to, switch between the two. I think that'd be the coolest thing in the world. And that's the type of renaissance I want to bring to Esan people, is the ability to do that, to get to that level. And that was what motivated me to create this app, and it wasn't a one-man effort. I worked a lot with my parents. My mom and dad were my team. In order to develop this, they were the backbone in making sure that they were like quality control, basically. So I make sure, like, hey, I play something, and I had to make sure, like, what does this mean? Okay, yeah, I have that correct. Play this and be like, well, what is this? Okay, that's correct. So I had to make sure that every single word in there was 100% what it should be. And so that quality control aspect took a long time to do. Also, the content, trying to make it so that it's customized for Esan people, so they know, whoa, okay, this is made by Esan for Esan. So that's why I had like Igbabonelemi as the loading screen, so that people, when they see them doing the flips and everything, I didn't want to put like some, very like common type of loading, 95% something. No, I wanted to, everywhere you look, it's Esan, So yeah, I mean, I think that I wanted the impact to be sort of like Wakanda for the world. When people saw the movie Wakanda, they're like, wow, I didn't know. So Africa can be this developed? Like, oh, wow. Maybe that means that, we can, if we work together and do this, then, you know what I mean? And so I think that with this app, if people see that the realm of possibilities, see that their culture can be made that relevant, I mean, that's the cutting edge of technology right now, mobile apps and things like that. So to see your obscure culture of Esan be displayed and conveyed in that manner, I think that should open people's eyes, be like, oh, okay, so if my culture can be put on display like this, then maybe it has some value. Maybe I should learn it in addition to Spanish, Chinese, and Russian, and whatever other foreign languages you're learning, because I believe that it's equally as important.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think it's, like you said, it's really important for us to work together. So, and for us, I will encourage everyone to go to the Izesan app. I'm going to put the description in my description box below. And for those of you who are technologically minded, especially young adults like Anthony will really benefit from that app. While some of you, I swear, there are people who might prefer the conversational side of learning Esan. So you can also have this video, my YouTube video, to learn from. So I think it's really important we work together. Like Anthony said, we don't really want to watch this language die. It's such a beautiful language that we don't want to watch die in our time. And we know that with this YouTube videos are there always, the app will always be there, or we're expecting more people to come in the future who will even make it better. So, but we need to do something now, right now. I know it's not everybody that is tenacious enough or that have deep passion to do it the way we are doing it, but it doesn't mean we cannot be contributors to it. So we can always find a way to contribute as we go along. And also, there's a resource, there's esanmarket.net. It's one of the sites where Anthony got the book for Andrew Otaigbe. Otaigbe, yeah. So yes, there you got some of his books from. I've actually checked the app, the website.
They have PDF versions of the dictionaries, and then they also have audio, audio kind of like, I don't want to say cassette because that's obsolete, but audio files so that you can like stories, Esan stories, proverbs, things you can listen to learn more Esan.
Okay, so yeah, we are going to keep collaborating and find as more resources as we find. We are going to continue to share it. I'll put the link in the description box below. So yeah, so I've actually checked it, and there are quite a few resources in that book, in that website. So that's good. On this note, I must say to people as well, those of us who Esan is our first language, we find English very difficult because there are so many words, like you said, in Esan word, there are many nuances, there are so many different terms. There are so many words in English language as well that mean the same thing. You know, that sometimes those of us that English is a second language, so we have to always think, well, what should we put in here? Is it go? Is it went? Is it gone? You know, it can be a bit difficult, you know, you're telling yourself, is it go or went that should go in there? Is it, there are so many of them, I can't think of them now, but trust me, I'm sure many people can identify those people of my age group or who English is not their first language, and me who learned Esan first before they started learning English. So English is quite difficult as well, and I don't actually think Esan is more difficult than learning English for someone who hasn't spoken the language before.
You know what, Auntie, I want to actually touch on that because for me, learning Esan was sort of like coming full circle because when my parents would tell me stories like you're saying, when they would speak English to, Americans, native English speakers, and the experiences they would face. Huh? What? Huh? What did you say? Things like that, and how insecure it would make them feel. How they would have to like look for safe words to always use.
Yeah.
Make sure that they don't. You know what I mean? So I was like, wow. So this is how my parents. This is the language they had to. This is the way they had to adapt. And,
yeah, definitely.
It's very, it's not easy to speak a foreign language. It takes a lot of confidence.
Right. In this concluding part of this conclusion, we're going to quickly conclude this English conversation part of our video today. Anthony is just going to tell us briefly about how the marginalization and eradication of the language is key to him and how we are going to be working together with the available resources. Yeah. Over to you, Anthony.
Thank you. I would just like to say that the spiritual aspect of me reaching back into my culture, what it has done for me mentally, spiritually, for my soul, you can't value it. You can't really, you can't put a number on that. You can't buy what it's done for me. It feels like part of me was missing, and now I've kind of like reclaimed that, and I feel whole. I feel full. I feel self-actualized. I feel confident. I feel like I can do anything because I know that my culture is intact. I know, I was born here, but I know where I'm from. I know exactly where my grandfather was buried. I know how to speak my language. If I go to Esan, I can get around. And so I think that the benefits of learning Esan, your culture, outweigh the pain of, you know, whatever kind of the suffering of going through the rigmarole, at the end of the tunnel, it's a great feeling. It can only improve your life. That would be what I would say. And I guess I would also kind of there's also a proverb, right? Not really a proverb, but like I heard it in a song in what they call Atanafan, with when they use the gugu, they'll use the bell and everything. I remember in one song I heard they would sing "Ono mueria olezo bye bye," as in, right? "Ono mueria olezo bye bye," meaning the person, if you have people, if you have a community that's behind you, you walk, people will hear your footsteps. As in,
you walk with confidence, you walk with pride.
Yes, I feel that 100%. I feel that. So that's where I leave it off.
Yeah. So yeah, some of the resources you used along the way and that other people can tap into.
Right. For me, as they would probably say in Pidgin, strong head. It was strong head that I learned Esan, and I don't think that's the best way to learn. I want to make it more palatable, so that's why I made this polished app called Izesan, Speak Esan, where there's actual images. The way I was learning, I was literally reading a dictionary, you know. So how am I going to be able to pronounce Esan words when I've never even heard it? I'm just reading it in a dictionary. Like, that's not the best way to learn. So I also highly recommend Auntie Mabel's videos, because nothing like this was even a thought, you know, just a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Nothing like this existed. Someone who's there to tell you this is how to speak Esan, these are the greetings, you know, this is how to, you know, say everything. Auntie Mabel's a great resource, and she's free. So you gotta, and she's willing to give you time, doing videos, interact, correct, help you. I mean, just lucky, man. We're just lucky. That's all I'll say.
So yeah, we are now going to end this English part of this conversation. So Anthony and I, when you see us in the next step, we're going to be making this same conversation in a briefer version of me just talking to my newfound nephew in this Esan land, the Esan kingdom. So we're going to have some conversation in Esan, and I'm looking forward to this part of this conversation. Myself and Anthony are going to interact in Esan now. So for those of you who don't speak Esan, just listen attentively and start using this opportunity to start learning with the conversation we will have. And I'm very mindful, I'm very careful on this part, because I don't want Anthony to put me to shame, because I tend to miss Esan and English. The conversation I've had with him in Esan, he can actually speak Esan.
Auntie Buekije.
He can actually speak Esan completely without missing it in English. So I'm just being very careful here. So I'll be careful when I'm talking to him in Esan, to make sure he doesn't put me to shame. So Anthony, but yeah, your bohian were boomare, Bonnie Ebima Barrel, we are going Sanaje, bohian. Okay, yeah. So be what here again? What is tamama we say bat here?
Elime ole Anthony Osekweme Otaigbe.
Bohian. Awege Able Boada beer. Where I want to be sent, or yes, about that beer, what was there one revision. So yeah, Buwaki on wet tamama je. Mani ma kimye ma warena nya bi menia bi ma kimye sade nene ma hio aba ma hio aba bebi omi aba ma no ma wona were momo so le no kida we ogbo Izesan ona mani ma ki gwe zonu ro na be we onu weta ma je ni mare mai ibi mai le because bugwa nya we si gbi a very ruje fo we pe alu Esan. So be we onu weta ma je that if you ma mi more one for dia here o are la bien o But what time I'm a jelly matters about when I san. Not that young Ronos mana about we are.
Ukbo emo utai. Obuno re nome. Mon me wege useye mobo. Useye mobo na re lesa. Egmere mu meda yipi elele nya igbe. Eni meda mu lesa. Meki wanre egeni. Opaki no. Meda wege meda tama igbe me. Wege me lue onurona. Me a lue ole oso hanabe. Me a buhumu wo. A mi area zame iki mufia. O popo me udu amude on esan meze ukpedele na oki mene esan meze ude. Are mie oki a mene oseye gboche mene ukpede. Oki mumelo. Udu me ki gogon. So oleze me wege we adiri oluole ukpede ukpota ukpopa we aluole here no we aseji we nwese oba mwelo kwere
Owo mumelo kwere so beji we tama me boje beji we tama me Maria zo sebo we amie we honta so aweki do tama ba bi nenie ekitama ebare taije so everywhere weki the buhi majaman maki mi onwale maki hin magwe Izesan be wo mare aro bok by ne honi alwo leje bi ne nya male on video na rive na eso bo mel babo bulu eso suba fo e karo my bi ba lefu eso water ma bi babo water ma me fo e koni YouTube no smenare alwo Izesan so be wa we honu ma beju we yere alwo be we honu ma yere aro bok by bi ma je ne ale da yesabo aze bele all women are azeni na buwa be ya honi alwe bi ma kire aro bok ba na da bu wenia we azebo we ki azobi ano ni US even we ko wazesa we ya ruru US citizen esa we ko azobi yo no wo nware besa
kakabo
we to ni mama ebore
ole oyi oni marok pitan resan we ge oyelo uvin renu den ida wo twa kwese ida segment se gbedelena ida lole onuhi me agberi ababi nene marere ole we amiege ibie ehone luesan aizanai aizozonai aije amude ole wo popo ma onima luesan opakino are holomai amude okaka na re lue uro osogbon uro nuwe waze egwere di ahire okakagbe ukiregbe mumai ki wege bare taye okay obo wo die we wo tie no sen opakino ira re tie na da miera ki wo hon no sen iwenu luesa iwenu Izesan we wo no sen seye luole ole ma agwano uki waki gema are mie wa diolume maki luole amie area ki zobo wege onuru na okakagbe emobo me ale Spanish uro Spanish da uro Yoruba bien ekele ada mi oni are mie wa dio mie ma vegbe oba mu elokwere
owo mu melokwere omo Opo wo daite so yeah just for the interest of those who don't speak Esan. So Anthony is just telling us how we the adults, especially with the moms and dads or aunties and uncles, adults in the life of, especially those of us in this generation, because I can really say that majority of Anthony's generation, majority of them don't speak Esan. So for what we are trying to establish, what we are trying to encourage by this, our YouTube videos and this app and all the other resources we are promoting, is to encourage us to speak the language. So like what he's trying to tell us, we the adult need to play a role in it. So when our young adults like Anthony are learning the language, we shouldn't tease them, we shouldn't laugh at them, we should rather encourage them. Because as you can see, when he's speaking in English, he speaks with the American accent. But when he's speaking in Esan, he's able to adapt and say it in Esan accent. So, and it's because his parents have actually taught him. I spoke to him and I spoke to his mom as well. And he said, oh, they said it was really keen. And whenever he says words in Esan, and if he's saying it with the American accent, they will always try and support him, not tease him, not discourage him or laugh at him like he's rightly saying to us. So they will usually say it in the tonation, the Esan tone, where it should be said. And gradually he's picked it up. And I'm really proud of him. So, Anthony, do you have a closing words to people of your generation in English that you want to say after what I've just said?
Mm-hmm. I would just say that, again, community, people, that is really, I think, what brings happiness in life. It's brought happiness to me, focusing on Esan community, focusing on the betterment of that people. I believe that if I'm successful, my people should also be successful. My community should also be successful. And so, you know, that's my ultimate mission, is to bring about that Esan Renaissance by any means necessary, so that, you know, we can reverse this cycle of not being able to speak your language and that being okay. You know, that should not be okay. You should know Esan before you should know any other language, you know, so.
Yeah, thank you very much. On that note, I would say please subscribe to this channel. People have told me I don't say it enough. I really want you guys to subscribe, because the more subscription we get, the more we are known, and we really want the next generation of the Esan sons and daughters, and even the grandchildren and those yet to be born, to speak this language. And it's a beautiful culture and a beautiful language. So on that note, Babulu class, I know it's not really a proper class today, Babulu, everybody that's watching, see, I'm speaking Esan now, and it's rubbing off from Anthony. So, Babulu, everybody that's watching us, and please subscribe to this channel. And on that note, Wakingboe from Anthony.
Wakingboe.
Yeah.
Babulu.
Okay. Babulu.